It is undeniable that leadership varies in styles and interpretations, which leads to a variation of management style within each company. This video will take a look at leadership of Nestle, the world's largest food and beverages company, which leadership will unquestionably play an important role and hence will highly be beneficial and worthy in doing an interview. We had a great opportunity to interview the sales director of Nestle, Mr. Anat Jurinthorn, which he had given us valuable information that is well adjusted to leadership and communication course. Considering his past experiences and achievements, Mr. Anat has demonstrated an excellent quality of an organizational leader. Lastly, Nestle relies heavily on marketing and communication. That is doubtlessly many graduates' top workplace destination. Therefore, this will give you a general overview of the system in this kind of conglomerate. First, the question is, how is a leader being selected in your organization? So, what are the steps when you're recruiting or selecting the leader?
There are many layers of leader in organizations, from the middle management up to senior management, up to very top management. Okay. So therefore, but the process I think is pretty similar in the sense that generally being in multinational company, we would have a very clear performance evaluations every year. So there are two things. One is about how you perform. So most of company are performance driven. So generally you have to consistently achieve your objective. Doesn't matter what department you belong. Take for example sales department. The primary objective is to manage to achieve the sales target, right? To drive distribution and all that. So basically it is a numeric and very clear-cut objective about how you achieve that. All right. So and also another aspect of that is how you achieve that. Is another aspect of that. Is mean that how good you are as a leader. For example, are you proactive, right? Are you collaborative or not? So these are forming the score year after years about how you perform in that particular years. Leave that one side. Because of in Nestle we believe that doing well is good. Then you got your salary, you got your bonus and all that, but doesn't warrant you a future success. So in other words, we would look into another aspect we call that potential. Right? Potential means that is this incumbent or the manager in questions has ability or agility to move on to a bigger roles or not, right? So we would assess that as well. Also, together with your consistent performance, the first part I talked about, if you consistently perform, achieve your objective, at the same time you have agility or ability to move forward. For example, your agility can be learning agility. You have ability to learn something new or not. Because somebody may perform well in a job. For example, I'm a salesman, I achieve my objective, but I cannot learn something new. Then you don't have potential to be a bigger leader or move up. So we use these two in combination to determine whether or not the individual have the potential to move forward or not. So that's how we select. And then after we have this, then we put people into the succession plan. Right? Of course, we would look that these people got potential, have capability in this area, then this one will succeed to a bigger role over a period of time. And this being done consistently throughout the system. And that's how we promote the leader.
I see. So what you describe is the criteria and also the qualities of a leader that you are looking for.
Right? And the achievement.
I see.
In summary.
And in your point of view, what is your philosophy of leadership? What do you see a good leader do, or what kind of mindset or perspective do they have?
Me, right?
Yes.
I think you cannot have a one stroke for all, meaning that many believe that if a leader with empowerment style is better for today. Right? Some believe that only autocratic, which is like top-down management, is a better way. I don't believe in such thing that there is only one solution for all the people. It depends a lot on situation. So I think my belief is about situational leadership, right? For example, you have to be able. Somebody you may need to dictate them to work. So I tell you to do this. So autocratic, right?
Yes.
But somebody you cannot. You can only empower them, right? And you can ask them to be engaged and more involved in certain things. You have to let them do the work. So I think it's depend a lot on the person, depend a lot on the situations.
I see. So
Yeah.
you can say that your leadership style is a
Flexible.
mixture between autocratic.
It's not a mix per
democratic.
se. It's about how
Situation.
apply a different stroke to a different people and
I-
different situations.
I see. And for you as a leader and your employees, how do you define the relationship between the leader and the employee?
I think generally relationship. Well, you can say that at the end of the day, there's a certain hierarchy when you work, right? So basically, they would consider you as a boss or you the boss and leader are two different things, right? I would prefer that they think of me as a leader, not as a boss, right? Sometimes the leader is actually is more like you're not leading, you are actually on the back, just try to protect them from the back end rather than leading.
And do your employee agree with this kind of mindset and relationship you have with them?
I would think so because of we have the employee survey, right, every 2 years, and it seems that we are progressing well along that because of we measure the engagement level, right? The more engaged the employee is, the better the company going to be. So we use this engagement score to measure ourselves over time. Are we getting better engagement or not? It seems to move toward that directions.
And with this kind of management style and leadership style, do you think you can work better or more efficient when it comes to organizational issues?
Yes.
Okay. Last question. As the leader, are you currently satisfied with your leadership style or management style?
I think as a good manager, you have to strive to be better over time. So I think it's a lifelong journey. It's kind of you have to continuous learning about what is the new technique. Besides that, I think the generation change, right? Generation X, they prefer a certain type of working style, working leadership. Generation Y, they would require something different, right? In the future, Generation Z will come to the marketplace. They would work very differently. Nowadays, I think when you see the room like this, next year you come here, it will be no more room because of actually now the new younger people do not like this type of bureaucratic style. They like to network more. They like to work more collaborations. They require more flexi hour. Leadership got to be different. You have to apply different scope of work. So this have to change over time. I think it's because of the workforce who change and the leader have to also adapt.
I agree.
So I cannot say that we are happy for the current circumstance. Yes, but as a leader, you have to continue to be adapt and change.
So this is the area where you always emphasize when you are developing or improving your management style.
That's right. You have to continue to change, to change to match with the new generation, the new employee who come in. Yeah.
According to our research, Gen Z will be more skilled and knowledgeable with the assistance of information and communication technology, and they will prefer their ideas to be heard. Their working lifestyles will also be different as they can work remotely and rely everything on the communication devices. In this case, laissez-faire or democratic would be recommended to give them that kind of freedom to work. Furthermore, Generation Z strives for career developments and greater future opportunities. Therefore, they will prefer the workplace where they can benefit from the self-improvement most than move on to the new skill development. Whereas the older generations would devote to work at the same company and grow along with it over time. In this case, the older generation do not mind the autocratic approach. But in the end, every leader must realize these differences and inevitably adapt to them in order to survive. To conclude everything, it is mentioned countless of times by Mr. Anat that a great leader should be flexible. Flexibility involves being adaptable to every situation and everyone you work with, because it means you are prepared to work at any given conditions. The understanding of the situation and who you're working with will also help you in determining the most appropriate and effective leadership style to employ. You must also realize that you can never succeed with one type of style. Therefore, you must be able to adopt every kind of approaches. Most importantly, you should never stop improving yourself, but constantly learning new things and working to achieve your goals, because that is what gives you a potential to move forward and becoming a great leader in the future.